Isn't it interesting how a fish is promoting a bait shop? What, does he want to be caught?
Just a local fisherman out for a pleasure cruise through eel-infested waters.
Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's the Daily Woo.
I'm on the edge of the water at a place called Sea Wolf Park, as designated by this old dining area slash convention center meeting arena that has fallen on hard times and seen better days. It's definitely a very interesting design. I bet back in its prime, this place was quite the hotspot. But what really fascinates me out here is at the very end of this fishing pier. And once I reach the end will be the closest possible spot to seeing this, unless I was on a boat or decided to go for a swim. I'm talking about this gargantuan, abandoned sea craft. And I know you're saying, oh no, Adam, there is another way to get close. And you are correct. The Majestic. So I'm gonna take the drone up in the air, far away from this dock. Take it up and get a bird's eye view, if you will, of the SS Selma. Christened in 1919, but only lasted about a year as an oil freightliner before crashing and cracking into a jetty. It was towed here into the middle of this waterway. A very good way away from the shore, I might add. So far, in fact, that you have to be a heck of a good swimmer to paddle out there to get a better view. If you want to climb around on that thing, then you better put your little floaties on. At least that's what I would use. Originally, she was built to be used in World War II. And after the accident, she was brought to Galveston to be fixed. That never came to fruition. And now she sits here forever. I have to say, the Majestic, the DJI Phantom 4, I love this thing. Especially how it handled in the heavy winds, flying over water for probably 3/4 to maybe even a mile in distance to get shots of the boat. That was insane. I was kind of hesitant about doing it. Thought maybe I would lose it in the water, and it pulled through. The Majestic, you never disappoint. You never disappoint. Okay, I take that back. It has disappointed me, but very, very rarely. More undisappointments than disappointments. That thing rules. For real, just look how far that is out there. This is a shot from the shoreline. And make sure if you're standing here to put away your glass containers or the snakes will get you. What's up, fellas? Camera shy, huh? Yeah, I get it. And not too far away on the same property is this submarine. And I'm gonna go inside of that thing. Impressive. Most impressive. Wristbands required beyond this point. Good thing I have one. There's even a torpedo being launched from the front. It's called Al's torpedo. The USS Kavala, and on her first war patrol, she sank an IGN aircraft carrier that was used in the attack of Pearl Harbor. Built in 1943 and commissioned February 1944, 311 feet long. I am now walking along the top deck. This would all be submerged underwater when this thing heads to the deep. This door and stairwell lead straight down into the nether regions of the sub. Gotta wash your head coming down here. Some of the sleeping arrangements here on these cots. And this is the torpedo room. And look at this. There they are, the torpedoes. These are the instruments that makes everything work. Look at those buttons. Torpedo ready. This is where the officers would sit and do their planning right here at this table. And there's the call box over there. I'm not really sure what this does though, this little crank thing. Do you have to turn this while you're talking through that to get it to work. These are the captain's quarters. The sink there, the bed, very humble accommodations. Looks like now we're getting into the nerve center, the nitty-gritty, the underbelly of this thing. What's incredible to me is that every one of these knobs, these turn switches, these wheels, these levers, has a purpose. This ladder would take you up to the bridge, the periscope, and the attack center, right through there. But they have it locked with this chain and deadbolt. Let's be honest, no one really uses periscope anymore. This is the kitchen, and whenever they were ready to eat, they would prepare the food there and serve it here in the mess hall. And it looks like they also had some backgammon tables and checkerboard and chess set up. It would be an unusual feeling to know that you're slumbering many, many feet under the water. This is the engine room, and you gotta watch your head. Me being a tall guy, it's very easy to crank your skull on the old steel beams. Being in here really kind of makes you claustrophobic. There's not a lot of room to maneuver, not a lot of height, not a lot of width in between the walls and the gears. Tight quarters. You get very good at thinking thin. Governor controls for all main engines. You would turn these, pull these down. Pretty much through the majority of the submarine, I had to hunch over. I had to walk with like a little bit of a stoop. I'm 6'3". Sitting adjacent is the Uss Stewart, also on land, used in World War II. This ship was fortunate enough not to have any casualties on board. How would you like to have the responsibility of sitting way up there as the lookout? Here's where the crew slept and ate. This is the mess hall. The toilets are very interesting. You can see there are 3 of them side by side, and it goes into a trough, and the trough spills all the waste down to the end. So you're basically sitting right on top of somebody else's number 2. There they go. Just 2 ships passing in the night, oh, well, the day. This is daytime. Just 2 ships passing in the day. What could have been, what may have been, we'll never know. Just went over a drawbridge. It was down, of course. There's a very interesting urban legend right up here at this medical school campus. There was a man a long time ago who owned a lot of property. He told his family, never sell my land. After he died, the family disobeyed his orders and sold the land anyway. This made him very unhappy. And now it is said that you can see him inside the walls of the building. I'm not making this up. And even more unusual than that, those that see it say he moves from section to section, from wall to wall. Simply given the name The Face, you never know where he's going to appear. I think he's tucked away currently in the corner, right over in the corner there, to the left of this pole. Goodness gracious, that bird is making a heinous sound. It is currently in a very difficult spot to see, but I have one more idea. I think if I drive back in here, I can get a little bit better view. You have to have a very good, keen eye, but it's right there. Look very, very closely right here. That's a face. It is a face. Who knows if the legend really is true? Who knows if that really is the old man's face? But there is no denying there is something on the side of that wall staring at us. Creepy. And now it's time for Ask
Adam the Woo!
You no longer need a hashtag, just leave your question on YouTube.
Adam the Woo, I've got a question for you. What's your favourite driving album? What do you put on to get you in the mood for driving?
That would definitely be a tough one because I like a lot of different types of music, but this is one of my favorite cruising albums, Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska.
My question to you, Adam the Woo, is... Whoa. Slow down there, killer. Do you still play bass? You know, when was the last time you played bass?
It's honestly been 2.5, I think it'll be 3 years in June or maybe July that I have not picked up a bass guitar or an instrument. But I do have the memories.
Minnesota. My question is, when are you going to come visit Duluth, Minnesota? You're free to stay at our house. Right, Laura? Yes. See? My wife even says yes.
The simplest answer will be when it warms up. Trying to stay south during the winter months. I do have a lot of friends in Minnesota, so you'll probably see me up there sooner than later. Just not till at least spring or fall or maybe summer.
1, do you believe in ghosts sincerely? And 2, have you ever gone to a location, be it by yourself or with a friend or a partner, that just completely weirded you out to the point where you're just like, I gotta get the hell out of here?
I've definitely been to some spots that creeped me out, probably mostly in my mind. When it comes to basically feeling like there are ghosts, I don't really know if there are or not. But I do know there's a bat boy. And a Bigfoot. But honestly, I'm really not sure. There could be. Sometimes I feel like there are. Other times I feel like it's just all in my head. I don't know.
Now that you have Large Marge, have you considered getting a furry companion to accompany you on your adventures?
Most likely no. As much as I love animals, as much as I love dogs, my sister has a few dogs. I used to have dogs in the past. I do not foresee any time in the immediate future having a dog running around. It would be awesome, have a little companion, but I don't foresee that because you never really know. I never really know what I'm going to do tomorrow, next week, next month. Everything may seem like it is set in motion now, but you never know. You never know what I'm going to do.
Would you ever consider, or would you ever do filming locations for any of the National Lampoon movies, such as Christmas Vacation, Vacation?
Absolutely, yes. In fact, I have been for probably about a year or two compiling and coming up with the ideas of hitting all the spots from the original Vacation movie. That is the kind of content that would probably go over on the Adam the Woo channel, just because that is something that is going to end up being mishmashed together and put in a long format video. Plus, all the locations are over a multitude of states and cannot be done in one day. So, shh, no spoilers. But it'll happen.
Oh yeah, please make sure to visit me at one of my stores. And this time, please don't drag any dung through the store.
I won't.
Thank you.
I won't.
Who's your favorite Disney princess? Ask him again.
Who's your favorite Disney princess? I love you, Emily. I love you, Emma. I love you, Emily.
My favorite Disney princess probably is either Belle or Snow White. Snow White probably wins in that category just by a teeny bit. But I love both of them, and I love you too. Thank you for watching.
Adam, wondering if you have any plans to visit the UK anytime?
Have you, or will you, be visiting England, /UK, /Europe anytime soon?
I'd like to get out of the United States at some point and see other countries. Right now, I'm focusing on traveling around in Large Marge, but like I was saying a minute ago, you never really know what I'm going to do next. I don't even know.
Sorry, I'm kind of sick, so I've just been laying here watching Adam the Woo videos. But if you took some pictures in and around the signs and places you go to visit, maybe just still frame them and make them black and white. Maybe that's just my style.
I get what you're saying. It would be cool to have a good camera, go around, take pictures. A lot of it is just a time factor. Filming every day, most of the day, probably 75% of the day, and then editing, uploading, all that. It's hard to have other hobbies like photography and stuff. And part of the reason I started doing videos to begin with is because I wasn't good at photography, and there were so many people better than I was. So I took on this video format. Thanks for the question, and hope you feel better.
Keep remembering how you talk about your father being a preacher. What do you think about the doctrine of the rapture of the church? And could it happen this year? Say even September 23rd of 2017. What do you think?
That is a loaded question. A lot of people have tried to pinpoint the exact moment or date that the earth is going to come to an end, the rapture, whatever it is that you believe in. A lot of people have tried to figure that out. I have no earthly clue, but I'll tell you this. It is a good thing that I'm out doing what I want to do, living life, experiencing things, because you never know when it's all going to end.
So here's my question to you, Adam. If you could take the DeLorean back in time to when you first started making YouTube videos, what would you tell yourself? Would you tell yourself to change anything? And if so, what would you change?
I would tell myself not to get discouraged. I would tell myself, do not listen to the naysayers. Do not listen to those who are belittling or negative, or those who are mocking me for making, what seem to be dumb videos, gallivanting around. I would tell myself that eventually, one day, it will pay itself off. And people are interested. There are people out there who want to see what I am showing. And I think that's the biggest thing that I would remind myself if I could go back and see my former self starting YouTube. It's a good question. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We will do more of these in the future. Love you guys. Vlog